Hi, welcome to our new channel, Pappy Outdoors. We'll be doing a lot of camping, hiking, kayaking, gold panning, even riding buggies and stuff like that. Anything outdoors that we like to do, we'll be videotaping it. So we want you to come along with us on this adventure that we're taking. And we'd appreciate anybody to subscribe and like and thumbs up and all that stuff that you do for YouTube. We appreciate that very much. Today we are in the Talladega National Forest up above Heflin, Alabama, in a place called Pine Glen Campground. Now this campground does not have power or it does not have running water. So if you come here, you need to bring what you need. You know, if you need power, you're gonna have to find a way to get power out here. And if you're gonna drink any water, you need to bring it out here with you. There's no alcoholic beverages allowed out here, which is all right with us sometimes. And it's just a nice little campground. A lot of campers out here. There's very seldom any campers out here, although we do see one out here every once in a while. This place is never really packed, so if you want a weekend to get away, this is one of the spots to do it. All right, y'all, we have made it to Sweetwater Lake. This is about a 20-acre lake from what I've been told. I've never kayaked it or anything, but that's going to change. I'm going to bring my kayaks down here. We might camp somewhere on this lake. We want to. We really do. This is a nice lake. There is a trail that goes around the lake. We're on the Pinhoti Trail. Didn't know if I was on the Pinhoti or not, but it's what that blue blaze on that tree right there means. Okay, y'all, we found a hill. We decided we'd climb it. We knowed we'd have a view of the lake, but I didn't think that hill was that bad. It is. That's going down. But it's right up here on top of the hill is a nice campground. Y'all forgive me for huffing and puffing, but we got several things we want to do today, so we didn't really take our time. But this is the view we got up here, and I'm thinking very seriously this would be a nice place to set up a camp. And the only problem is I don't know how much stuff I want to haul back up that hill. Y'all, that is one steep hill, but it is nice views out here. Y'all, ain't nothing better than a campfire and the sounds of the night, just to relax you. That's one thing that we really love about camping. So I'm sure we're not the only ones who feel this way about it. Good morning, everybody. It's a little bit on the chilly side this morning, but that'll burn off here in a little bit, I'm pretty sure. But my wife April's making us some coffee, and for that I love her very much. I need my coffees. So she's making coffee, after we drink a cup of coffee and enjoy that for a little bit, she's gonna make us some breakfast, and then we're gonna go show you a few other things that we like about camping down here. Quite honestly, the campsite itself for us is like a base camp for all these other places that we like to see. They're all real close to here. So, you know, if you just like to go to a campsite and just relax and sit and do nothing, this is a good place. But if you like to see other things, you know, you got to leave the campsite and just ride around some of these little dirt roads up here. And that's what we like to do. So we'll be showing you some of them places here in a little bit after we get some breakfast in us. and a lot of coffee in us, and we'll be back with you in a little bit. All right, April's gonna cook us some breakfast now. I'm gonna have to clean off the little table. We didn't bring another table with us today, and everything got thrown on that table. But we was trying to get by with as little stuff as possible. All right, we're right here at the entrance to Pine Glen Campground, and just off to the side of it is a little creek. Now, this area right here, a lot of people love to just come out here and swim. It's not deep, but the water's cold. It's got a nice smooth, well, not really smooth, but it's got a nice little bottom on it. So a lot of people come down here and swim. If they've been here 2 or 3 days, they might come down here and bathe off if they didn't have no better way to do that. But a lot of times when me and April come down here, we see a couple of snapping turtles, but I ain't seeing them today. Okay, when you leave the campground, if you turn back to the left, we're gonna go several places that we like to go to. We're gonna give you a little bit of mileage to give you an idea of how to get there if you've never been here and want to. But let's get going. We turn off to the left out of the campground. All right, this is our first stop today. It's an 1/8 of a mile from the Pine Glen. It is Coal Cemetery. This is a very old cemetery.
This is about an 1/8 of a mile from the camping area.
Well, let's walk up through the graveyard and see what we see.
Some of these gravestones are nothing but rocks that were put in place. $18.96.
And there are some Civil War graves out here. This place is full of history, not just dead bodies. All right, everybody, we are 3 miles from Pine Glen Campground where we spent the night last night. And this is the turnoff to go to Sweetwater Lake. Now, we went there yesterday. That was the lake that we showed. But we're not going to go back down there today because there's something else we want y'all to see. But this is the turnoff, 3 miles from Pine Glen. All right, when you're coming up to this next spot, 5 miles of dirt road and it turns into a paved road again. So keep going with the flow because it's not too far up this highway right here where we're going to turn off at. And I want to show y'all something that's really awesome. Church. To me, this is where we're going.
It is 6.8 miles from Pine Glen Campground.
Yep. And then you got a little trail to take to get to the church.
Shoal Creek Baptist Church. The first of 3 Baptist churches was built on this site about 1842 as white pioneer settlers increased. The present building was constructed in about 1895. The only surviving church book, begun in 1898, shows 68 male and 76 female members. In the early years of the 20th century, the population decreased to the point that the diminishing membership ceased meeting here in 1914. Occasional events including weddings, reunions, and old-fashioned church services are held at the church by reservation. Since 1921, an annual Sacred Heart-shaped note singing held each Labor Day is the only regular service. The 2.83-acre site is private property surrounded by the Talladega National Forest. The U.S. Forest Service maintains the road leading to the site. For more than a century, descendants of the early settlers have periodically maintained the building and its adjoining cemeteries. In 1986, they formally organized the Shoal Creek Church Preservation Society under the leadership of William Lee Jones, grandson of an original builder. This nonprofit entity represents scores of area families bearing such names as Cheatwood, Holly, Edwards, Coleman, Roach, Dunn, Thompson, Johnson, Knighton, and Jones.
All right, first thing we're going to show you before we go into the church is the outside of the church real good. And this pavilion has been recently redone. Just very recently. Now, as April said earlier, they do hold a singing out here Labor Day weekend. And we was at Pine Glen Labor Day, but we forgot completely about it. We didn't come up here for that. It just slipped our mind. But I would really love to come to one of these things. So maybe next time we'll get up here. But when you walk into the church, you will see all the cracks and everything between the walls. I'm pretty sure that at one time in the winter, it was some pretty cold services. But this is the walk around of the church now. As April said earlier, they doing a lot of rebuild on some of it. But this is the locks on this place. I want y'all to check this out. There's your locks. That's all there is. You can walk inside this thing. And that's what we're fixing to do. All right, we're in the church now. We have opened up all the windows and trying to get light in here for you. Of course, there is no power out here. So the singing that they hold is acoustic, I reckon, unless they bring their own power supplies. But this is the church. Now, I got to admit that there's a lot of gaps in these walls. But it might not have been that way in the beginning. I'm sure that this church has settled, had a little bit of damage to it throughout the years. And that may be why we see so many gaps. But there was plenty of pews in here. Now, I don't know what it was like back in the old days. It might have only had something like 5 pews or something. I don't know. But I'm pretty sure they brought several of these pews in for that singing. All right, now, just across a little way is a cemetery for this church. And there are a lot of old graves out here too, just like the coal. Being as the other day was Labor Day and they had their little shindig out here, I'm pretty sure someone come out here and cleaned up the cemetery. Okay, everybody, we're loaded up and ready to go. We've made our last sweep of the area, policed everything, got all the trash up, And we will catch y'all on the next video, hopefully.